Welcome back to Front of Stage with Banners. Hi,
Hello,
nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too.
My first question is, because you're a solo artist,
Yes.
but you have a band name, like a stage name.
Sure.
Yeah, how did that come?
Well, so I had a record label, and I think everybody just decided in an office somewhere that I have a very boring name. I think.
No, it's not that boring.
It's quite boring. Michael Nelson is as boring as it gets. And I suppose maybe people think that you're like a folk singer or something like that.
That could be.
And I kind of, like, that was fine with me because I think if you come up with a name, then, people don't know if it's a band or if it's just you, or you can kind of play with it a little bit. So I quite liked coming up with a name. It was hard. It took me quite a long time.
What does it mean for you?
Well, this is the thing, you see, is that you come up with these names and then so many of them are already taken because somebody has a MySpace page from 15 years ago. I love MySpace. Oh, I love MySpace too. I think maybe MySpace is as good as it ever got. You know, we all had our friend Tom. He was our number one friend. And
then we had our 8 other friends, and there was a lot of drama.
Yes, and there was that drama, but we all had our favorite song. And then there was some photos, and that was it. No one was saying horrible things to each other.
That's true.
Nobody was exactly. Comments. Nobody was influencing elections in an awful way.
But maybe it was the start of everything.
I think it was, maybe. So I guess Banners for me was just like, I'm a big Liverpool Football Club supporter, and banners are a huge part of that culture. And I guess a banner is a thing that you like go to battle behind. You go to war behind your banner, and I guess this is my one, I suppose. Yeah.
But that's a nice finding your own way to your name.
And all of the lads, tonight we're playing in Vienna, and everybody in my band are like my really good friends. So I really quite like that people might think that it's a band. I really like it when people ask for their autographs and stuff like that and want photos with them. It's great.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's more connecting maybe than having just a solo artist name.
Yeah, totally.
So, but coming back to Liverpool, you moved there. I read on the newspaper that you lived before in Canada. How did this happen?
So I'm from Liverpool, and then somebody asked me if I wanted to do some songwriting once in Toronto. So I saved up all my money for a flight to Canada, to Toronto. And then I stayed there for 7 years. Lots of things happened, and I developed a career in music, and Canada was so supportive of me, and I had a record label that were in New York, and my publisher was in Canada, so it was awesome. And Toronto is a beautiful city. Yeah,
I've never been to Canada, but it always sounds really nice to me to go there, because they always say the people are so friendly there.
Sure.
But UK people are also very friendly.
Yeah, I guess, and they have their own music culture in Canada, too, and they're very supportive.
Is it different to Europe, would you say?
Yeah, totally. They have their own thing. It's quite easy to imagine that it will be very easy to move there because everyone speaks the same language that I do, and they have McDonald's as well and KFC. But actually, it's 3,000 miles away from where I live. So, of course, there's big differences and stuff. But it was amazing. I feel very grateful that they let me into their country for so long. Yeah. But then, the pandemic happened, and I was so far away, and I needed to give my mom a hug.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I went home, and it's been great being back home. That's where I'm from, that's where I was born, so it makes the most sense to be there, really.
Okay. And what inspired you to start making music in the first place?
A few things really. Like, Liverpool is a very music-y place. Yeah. There's everyone is in a band in Liverpool.
Yeah.
My dad was a recording engineer when I was growing up, so he used to work in a recording studio a lot, and I used to go and see him in there, and I just loved it so much. It was so great. The sound was so loud and perfect, and I thought that bands were just the coolest people in the world, and singers were just amazing. I couldn't believe that they could do this thing. So when I was really small, I just really wanted to do that, And also I wanted to impress a girl once. So I said, I will sing some songs. I will sing some songs. I will record some songs for you. And then, so I did that. So yeah, those things really.
So who are the bands, maybe artists who influenced the most to your sound? Like what were
Well, I really loved Coldplay growing up. Like I still do.
Yeah.
So that's probably the band that I looked up to the most as like, that's what I want to be. But you know, I also really loved Jeff Buckley when I was growing up.
Oh yeah.
He's so great.
Yeah.
And I can't sing anything like him. Like I don't think anyone can, but I tried. And I just did my own terrible version, I guess. So he was a big one from a vocal perspective because it's so inspiring to listen to, isn't it? That stuff.
And which artists or bands would you like to see dead or alive when you would have the chance to do it?
Well, yeah. I mean, Jeff Buckley would obviously be a big one. I can't not be from Liverpool and say the Beatles.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin would be pretty awesome to have seen them in the 1970s.
Yes.
But you know what, I sort of think there is so many, all of my friends are so talented, genuinely. They're in Liverpool and they're in their own bands and it's been so amazing to just get to grow up around that and get to go and see them be amazing. You know, I got lucky and I get to be in Vienna and I get to be talking to you and I get to do this for a job. But so many of my friends are more talented than me. So I feel like I've gotten to see a lot of amazing music and a lot of amazing music that people don't know about yet, you know.
Yeah, maybe yet to come.
Maybe. And hopefully maybe with me, maybe they can come and do it with me and stuff.
I think it's always good when you someone has to make the step outside of the city and then maybe take the people with them.
Totally.
I think this is what the creative scene can benefit the most of it. That
definitely.
You can connect to each other.
And it's such an amazing experience to get to go on tour and to get to write songs and record them and release them. And like I say, to be in Vienna doing this and to get to travel around all of the world, that you just want people to come with you. I almost feel guilty that it's me that gets to do it. So I really just want to try to do this with as many people that I really care about. Because then it makes it super special, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's so nice to hear. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. It's just a way of getting to be with your friends all the time too. It's hard when you're not in school anymore. You don't get to see everyone every day.
Everybody has his 9 to 5 schedule and no time for friends and fun.
Definitely, and especially to get to travel with people. It's just a dream come true.
It's different when you travel with people, especially with your friends. There are some you can travel and some you can't.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges on tour to be with your friends touring?
Well, I mean, you on tour, you are in a van or a bus, and then you're in a venue carrying all the gear, and then you do a sound check, and all the time you're together, and then maybe there's an hour where you get some food, and then you're on a stage and you're still together, you still have not left each other, and now you have to go to sleep in a hotel room. You know, generally you share a room, and then you wake up and you do it all again. So you're with each other all the time. It never really. So it can, if you do it with the wrong people, it can be very hard, especially because people are very tired. It's the long distances. Some gigs don't go so well.
Sorry for interrupting you, but how long are you going on tour this time?
This one here, so we are, this is only short, so about 3 weeks.
Okay, that's
about a month
okay-ish
in all.
To be with.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. But then there's a small break, and then there'll be some more, and then some more and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Yeah.
And it's all new, it's such a privilege to get to be in different cities like this, to get to see them and play gigs. So it's great.
So which one is the one you like the most by now?
Which city?
Yeah.
Well, probably Vienna, but we haven't played that yet.
To say that now. But do you like Vienna? Did you see
amazing.
The city?
So we haven't really seen that much of it yet, just because we drove in today and we've just been here at the venue. Yeah. But hopefully tomorrow morning,
you will have a little.
It looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
That I really hope I get to see some of it. Yeah. But it can be hard on a tour, because the schedules are so tight. So sometimes it's a shame you don't get to actually experience the cities. But hopefully tomorrow morning, we can go and have a walk and a coffee somewhere nice.
Do you also play on festivals?
Yeah, I haven't for a little while.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of them, but Yeah, we probably need to do some more, really, because they're fun.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you prefer more festivals or venues like Szene Wien here in Vienna.
Yeah,
What is your...
it's just very different. So when you play a festival, you maybe play for half an hour, 45 minutes, and people are here to see 40 bands.
Yeah.
So you're just a small part of that. So there's different...
But maybe getting new followers and fans.
Of course, yeah. And also you can just sort of have fun.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you play here tonight, they're only here to see you and they've bought tickets for you. So you can do a longer show and you can maybe, do a different set list that's just for them, and you know that they're going to sing along to these songs. So it's all great. It's just great in different ways, I think.
Yeah. How do you choose the songs for your set list?
Yeah, it's quite nice because I've been doing banners for a little while now, 8 or 9 years. So now there's enough songs out that you can really figure out, a run. But when I first started, the first tour I did, I had 7 songs in the world, which was just enough to do a set. But you don't get to go, I don't really like this song, or maybe,
you can't choose.
It's hard, especially if you play festivals and 3 of those songs are ballads or something. They're just like, all right, stick with me, guys. So it's really nice to be a little bit further along.
How was your first time on stage on a festival? Because I think it's different when you play on a venue when your friends are also in the...
Yeah. I found it was a very steep learning curve for me. That we say in England. It's like I had to learn a lot at a very short... Because I'd never played a gig before and I was signed to a big record label.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to play live whilst everyone was watching. Really, and I think it's better to play 100 gigs when no one cares.
Yeah.
And you can learn how to do it. And so it took me a while. I think I'm good at it now, but it takes time.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, totally. I couldn't really play the guitar, so I was learning how to do that. I didn't really know how to sing into a microphone and play the guitar, and and I didn't know how to write songs, and I all this stuff is hard to learn how to do. I think maybe that's why a lot of people find music so hard, because you have to do 100 things at once, and it can be just too hard to learn. And also to keep confidence in yourself and to just keep going with it. So I'm grateful to have got this far at least.
Yeah. Is there any particular show or when you're on stage what you can really remember and say that was one of your favorite gigs? Well,
the band that I'm playing with now, they're are my friends, and they're so talented. So actually this whole tour, all of the gigs have been amazing, because I feel like I can just relax into it. I just love being on stage with them so much, and I feel like that makes me do a better job of singing and stuff. So actually this tour has been the best live experiences I've ever had.
So which cities will come next after Vienna?
So after this, we're going to drive to Hamburg, which sounds like a very long way.
Oh, it is. I will go there, I think, in 2 weeks. And I already checked out how long we go with the car. Yeah. And it's a lot of...
How long is it?
I think it's more than 10 hours from Vienna.
But
we will have a break in Berlin. I think it's 12 hours, but we have a break in Berlin, and this is around 9 hours.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so...
I don't think we're going to do it all in one go tomorrow. I think maybe 7 hours tomorrow and the rest the next day.
Yeah, the next day,
So maybe we can watch some films or something like that on the way. Play some games, I don't know.
I wanted to ask you, how do you, because you have a lot of waiting time as well, like when everything is ready for the stage, what are you doing in this time? What is your preference? Some do yoga. I heard a lot of artists saying they do sports, they do this. How to get how to stay energetic?
Well, Linny did some yoga this morning, and Christian went for a run on a treadmill, I think. So I feel a bit gross because I didn't do either of those things, so they've won today. But I think you it's hard to eat well on tour, and you're sitting down a lot in vans and buses and stuff, so you start to feel a bit so you just have to do your best, really. There's a lot of bread going on.
But we have good bread
here. That's the problem, is the bread here is amazing, so it's so easy just to eat loads of it.
Take it with you when you go to Germany.
Maybe we will do that. It's tough in America because there's a lot of fast food in America, a lot of McDonald's and Burger King and
Sometimes
stuff like
it
that.
can be really nice, but I can understand when you're 3 weeks of just eating fast food, you're like,
Totally. Yeah. And then as you go, people take photos of you playing live and you think, I need to not eat McDonald's.
How would you say that? So, because we said pictures, and like, how do you say, like, we also were speaking about MySpace, but how do you think isn't social media affecting you as an artist? Because I have to think, of course, TikTok made one of your songs really popular as well, and it gives you, how you say, a good possibility to put out your songs on a new audience. But isn't this also hard for you as an artist?
Yeah, it's hard for me as a person, to be honest. I don't really, this is a little personal, but I don't really like looking at myself. I don't like what I look like. So, and that's fine, because you just don't look in the mirror. It's okay. Yeah. But when you have to make social media content and there's like pressure to make it, then you have to look at yourself and you feel bad. Yeah. So it's a little hard, but I have a lot of help, you know, from like the people I work with, and we have a bit of a system where I film a thing and I don't look at it and I send it to them and they put it up for me.
That's a nice way.
And then you don't have to obsess too much about your image and stuff, because it's a hard world, isn't it? You know, everyone looks so perfect on social media.
Without the filters, yes.
Exactly, and there's filters, and then you're comparing yourself to this filtered version, and even Hollywood, they're so crazy. You know, it's this perfection that really is not that possible. You know, we all just look like humans, but you're looking at yourself and feeling like, I need to look like that because I'm a singer and stuff. So I think social media can be hard, and I think we have to be careful of young people on social media, because they're so precious. You know, they come and see us play, and they're so lovely, and I want them to be protected as far as possible. So I hope that there'll be some work done with governments or something to try to protect kids. I have a nephew and 2 nieces, and you know, I don't want them to be bullied, and I don't want them to be, you know, so it's dangerous. Having said that, social media is an opportunity for people to advertise their songs and their work, and because there used to be a world where if you wanted to release a song and you wanted anyone to hear it, you'd have to have a record label, really. Yeah. So that means one person at a record label goes, okay, and signs you, and then everything opens up. But now anyone can have a YouTube channel or an Instagram account or a TikTok one. Not a MySpace one, unfortunately. Which would be the best. But, you know, or any of this stuff. And everyone has the chance to record a song at home, and it can go on Spotify, and then it's hard, but it's possible. So there's a version where it's really great. We just have to find
two sides of a coin, I would say. We have the saying in Austria, like the two sides. I think it gives you a lot of good opportunities, but on the other side, it also costs a lot.
It can
because you have to look good as well. It's like when you go, like, maybe not for Spotify, but for like TikTok or Instagram, they have to be picture perfect. And that's something I also think it's not so good for, especially for young people.
Totally. And of course, this is me saying this, and I'm a man, but the pressures on women are far harder for women to, you know, to constantly look a certain way and all this stuff. So I think we just hopefully we're just so early on in all this, you know, it's still quite a new thing, social media, and I hope that, because mental health is the most important thing, and also there's no reason why you should have to be pretty or handsome to make really great music.
The thing is, like with Janis Joplin, I was always wondering if she would be in our times, if she would be that famous, because she was one of the greatest singer. I personally love her. Also Patti Smith, and they would not be the stereotypical person who would be now considered as beautiful.
Sure, totally.
And that's something I would find really sad. If
100%. And even in my industry in music, you know, like we just sort of assume that pop stars are very beautiful, and it's just like, well, but why though? Music is music, and everybody can make beautiful music, so it's a shame that that's the culture, but I suppose we have to just protect ourselves the best we can, and like I say, mental health's the most important thing in the world, and I hope with the rise of social media there's more and more help, especially for younger people, with that stuff.
You mentioned mental health. How do you stay sane on tour? Like, what is your, what you do?
Like, I do have to, if anybody wants to form a band, do it with your friends. Because if you're with people that you really love,
good advice.
You wake up in the morning and you're just like, oh, there's my friend Ed. I'm going to make up a stupid song. And then when he wakes up, I'm going to sing it to him. And then that'll be funny. You just have to... You have to pick the right people to do it with. I think first and foremost, you have to make sure they're awesome people, and then figure out if they're good at the guitar or good at the drums. The most important thing is that if they're cool. Because also, we meet people when we're on tour, and we meet fans and stuff. And I want everybody to feel, all the people that meet us, to feel safe and welcomed and loved. So I have to make sure that all these people that I tour with are going to do that. And I know that they're going to do that. I know that they're great people. So it's so important.
That's good to hear. And is there any crazy or funny story on tour you want to share with your fans, or maybe with fans? What already happened with fans? What was
as in on this tour?
Yeah,
I mean, there's like really funny things happen all day. We went swimming yesterday. It was pretty awesome.
Where?
In a lake called...
Oh, in Austria or somewhere else?
Yeah, we were near... It was when we were driving. I'm so lost as to where I am in the world.
It's okay.
It was a very lovely lake that we spent a lot of time in, and... Let me think. And everybody decided they were going in the lake, and 3 of us got in the lake and said, this is very cold, I'm going for a swim. And everyone else said, this is very cold, I'm getting out.
It has to be an Austrian lake.
Yeah, it was very cold. But just so you know, I went for a big long swim.
Okay.
I'm one of the brave ones in our band.
Okay, good to know.
And I also jumped off the highest diving board. I would really like everybody out there to know I jumped off the highest diving board.
You have to prove it with a picture.
Yeah, I didn't take a photo actually.
Oh, no.
It does sort of sound like I'm lying, doesn't it?
When
you
it's
just
not on
have
social
to believe
media,
me.
it's not true.
I know, that's, if it's not on social media, then it didn't happen, I guess. That's a shame. Do you believe me that I did it?
Maybe.
Oh well,
100%.
next time we'll have to go back.
Friends.
Well, you know what they're going to say.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go back and take photos.
Going back to the show stuff, do you have any rituals for pre or after the show?
Well,
because when you're with your friends, I think there's some what you always do.
And that's the dangerous thing, is it's so easy to just talk loads, to talk lots, and to lose your voice or something. So I have a steamer, a vocal steamer, which I do every night and every morning and before the show, which really helps. And then warm-ups that sound so stupid and so horrible, and I was always so shy about doing them. I'm a very shy boy, so
something I also can't believe when you're the singer.
I know, it's really strange. I don't really know why
this stereotype is out there from singer.
I don't know why it's no problem to go and stand on a stage. You can be very shy but also want to do that. You know, David Bowie was very shy, and so is Paul Simon, so is everyone, but somehow it doesn't get in the way. Bob Dylan again. But so I'm very shy, and I always felt very strange about doing silly warm-ups in front of everybody, but they're so important to do. So I do them, and we all have a hug before, because you should be, it's such a close thing that you're doing, and just to have a little moment together is great.
That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
You said before you were not good in songwriting when you started.
Sure.
Of course, nobody is perfect. But how is now your songwriting process, and how would you describe it, how it developed? And maybe you have some advice for young artists as well?
Definitely, yeah. So there's what's quite common with music, pop music, and really all is that you often write it with other people. So you like go in to a session, and maybe the record label will set up a big run of different sessions with people, and you sort of go in and have your thoughts and your emotions, and you just try to write a song, which at first is very hard because it's people that you've never met before a lot of the time. You know, say if you sign to a big record label and they send you out to LA or Nashville or somewhere like that, and they're just brand new people that you've never met them, and now you're having to tell them your innermost thoughts. You know, it's very weird, or sing nonsense words because you're trying to figure out a melody or something like that. At first is very strange, but then after a while you realize that no one is going to laugh at you. Like no one,
because it's also their job to do
it's
it as
their
well.
jobs. Yeah, totally.
They are there for you to get you into the process.
Yeah. so it's hard because they want you to be yourself in an environment that's kind of hard to be yourself. So you have to learn how to do that a little bit, really. But the more you do it, the more you pick up really great tips and on how other people do it, and how to, you know, it sort of depends what sort of song that you want to write. But if it's a pop song, you probably have to repeat some melodies quite a lot, and you just learn all this stuff. But if I was, I think if I was to give any advice to somebody, like I think people think that with songs, inspiration is just going to hit you and you'll sit down at the piano and it'll all come out of you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if there's anything what you can do when you have a blockade.
A blockade. Well, this is the thing, is the inspiration, it can happen, but it only happens if you've sat at the piano for a week. And you've done rubbish songs. You can do a week of rubbish songs to get to the good one. You have to do the rubbish ones. So if you write rubbish songs, don't worry about it. They're really important. It's almost like training. If you're a football player, you can't just go out and be amazing. You have to do the training. So I would say for every one good song that I write, there's 20 bad ones. So the main thing is if you write a bad one, don't worry about it. Just do another one tomorrow, because it might be tomorrow that the inspiration happens.
Maybe see it more like a training, as you said.
Definitely.
That's
it's definitely that. And I think people beat themselves up, or they think, well, I'm not suddenly getting, you know, Paul McCartney saying he wrote Let It Be in a Dream, you know. Paul McCartney's a special man. None of us are Paul McCartney. The rest of us,
maybe he's lying.
Maybe. But the rest of us just have to sit there and do it and do it and do it. And if you get a blockage, just do it. If that means you write a bad song, write the bad song, and tomorrow it will be gone, or the day after that. None of us have to write a million amazing songs. We just have to write, I don't know, 10 in your life, really. You know, how many amazing songs do even the best get to do?
Yeah, the thing is also, I think when you go to art, it's the same. Like you have to learn the technique. And you have to draw a lot.
Totally.
To get the one pictures, and a lot of really famous artists never draw more than 200 in their lifetime, or maybe only hundreds of real
exactly
pictures.
And the other thing I would say to people, if they're starting out, let people hear the songs. It's so easy to record them and then think, oh, people are going to laugh at me or something. No one laughs at you ever. People are really impressed generally. People go, wow.
And if they're douchebags.
Well, but that's their problem though. You know, if someone laughs at you for playing a song that you've written, it's only because they're jealous, or they're self-conscious, or they don't want that girl to like you, or they don't want that boy to like you. But naturally, it's pretty cool writing a song, you know. So don't worry that people are going to laugh at you. Like, if they laugh at you, it's their problem. People don't, by the way. They really don't. They just kind of go, wow. and if you don't let people hear them, then you can't get anywhere with it, you know. So it's the easiest thing in the world to write the song and never play it to somebody, but you have to play it.
Good advice. Thank you so much for that. I have to get to my last two questions. The one is about, do you have a favorite song of your new album? And if yes, which one? And is there a story behind you want to share?
Sure. I have two, really. One is a song called Perfectly Broken. Because I really like the thought, I think. Like, it's so easy, like we were saying, to feel like you're supposed to be perfect. But but no one is really. And the whole point of that one is saying it's the imperfections that make people interesting.
Yes.
That's the bit about people that you fall in love with, I think. And really it's your imperfections that they fall in love with. So the idea of that's what makes you come together.
Yeah.
So no one should try to be perfect because it's not possible. And even if someone was perfect, it would be so boring.
Yes.
Like what is useful in that? And actually be imperfect. It's much better. It's much more interesting. So I'm sometimes you have these thoughts, but they're hard to turn into 3.5 minute song.
Yeah.
So I'm proud that I was able to do that one. That song I wrote with my friend Sarah, Essie, her name is, and her husband, Danny, who I also wrote a song of mine, Got It In You, that I'm really proud of. So we wrote that over Zoom during the pandemic.
Okay.
So it's quite hard to write a song over the internet, it's tough. So I'm proud of us that we managed to get what I think is quite a beautiful song out of, like I say, talking to each other over the internet and sending ideas over emails and stuff like that.
It's not that
cool.
easy.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
But amazing and I think that's how the pandemic worked, wasn't it? It was a whole world of people that were suddenly confronted with a scary thing. And everybody figured it out,
Or try to figure it out.
Yeah, or as everyone did as best they could. And I guess that song was me doing the best that I could in those circumstances. So I'm proud of that song, really.
Oh, that's also a really nice story.
Yeah.
So what are your goals for your career and also for you as a person, completely personal?
Yeah, I don't really like to set goals for a career because I only got where I am, whatever that is, by taking tiny little opportunities. So if I was to draw a map as to how I'm sitting with you here now, it would be lots of decisions which don't make loads of sense in the moment because they're not great big opportunities. They weren't huge things. They were tiny little, I'll do that and I'll do my best.
Yeah.
I couldn't have charted this. Yeah. I couldn't have mapped it out like this.
You go with the flow.
And because you have to, because all you have is the next thing and then do your best with the next thing. So that's all I do, really. I try to do it with people that I think are amazing and that I love. And I try to make music with love for people. I try to make music to make people happy. Yeah. Because it's such an important thing to do with your life, to try to make people happy, because it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
So I try not to aim for a thing, because I couldn't aim at anything anyway. I just say to myself, I'm going to try my hardest, I'm going to try and make music with love, and I'm going to try and do it with awesome people, because it's got me this far at least, so I'll keep doing that. And the other thing is, as a person, to just not worry too much about the future, because it's easy to do that with music. You feel like, well, I've got to do the next thing and the next thing. But that would mean that I'm not loving this thing that's happening now.
Oh, you want to be more in the...
Yeah. I'm in such a beautiful city. It's a lovely day. It's really nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on stage with my friends in a few hours. A dream come true.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long this dream will get to last for. And if it all finishes in 5 years' time, I don't want to look back and say I didn't experience it enough. So, and I moved home to Liverpool, and I love being in Liverpool so much, I get to live in my dream city, and I get to go and watch my football club, and I see my friends and family. So it's just loving it whilst it's happening, because this is perfect and it may not be forever. So that's what I try to do, I think.
Okay, thank you so much for the interview. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This was Front of Stage with Banners.